Have you ever stopped to think that a simple ingredient, forgotten in the back of the pantry, could be the secret to lighter days after 60? Imagine transforming your routine, feeling the difference with breakfast in the morning or soft music in the evening. These are not magic formulas or expensive solutions, but something within everyone's reach. In this video, I will show you how bitter cocoa can help calm anxiety and boost your mood using practical examples, mini recipes, and real stories to show that it is possible to truly change, and quickly. Stay with me until the end, and you'll discover simple practices to wake up without that tension in your shoulders, tasty dishes without giving up pleasure, and, most importantly, how to create a self-care ritual that easily fits into your life. It may be that just a new eating habit, from the first sip of milk with cocoa upon waking up, will bring that old lightness to your routine. You deserve to experience days when a smile comes easily, even before your first cup of coffee. Anxiety does not need to be a daily and persistent companion. At the age of 60, the body and mind already store a valuable collection of experiences, flavors, and even fears. Therefore, taking care of emotional health becomes a priority. The solution is not always found on the most expensive shelves or in the new products announced in big letters. Often, what really matters is rescuing simple practices, as generations before us did, mixing tradition with what science proves today. Today, anxiety is so common in this age group that it affects more than 70% of elderly people at some point. Most people continue trying to normalize sleepless nights or that knot that appears in their stomach in the afternoon. But can nothing really be done? A familiar ingredient can plant a new beginning, like someone sowing small flowers in a familiar kindergarten. If you remember Sunday afternoons with the smell of baking cake and the radio soundtrack playing, you'll be pleased to know that the path to self-care can be more enjoyable than you think. There is no right age to discover calming and tasty news. After all, trying something new is reliving that curious spirit of when everything was discovered. Take a deep breath. Imagine that, when you look at your next meal, you already have a silent transformation tool in your hands. The most fascinating thing is to realize that, with gestures as small as stirring a spoonful of cocoa in the milk, an internal movement begins. This is where we take the first step, planting the seeds of peaceful flourishing in our daily lives. And if it seems too simple to be true, just wait for the next few minutes. When we look at the day itself, it seems like everything repeats itself. Waking up, trying to relax, feeling time passing quickly, but the mind insists on staying awake. That's exactly what happened to Carlos. He always liked small routines, waking up early, making a point of setting the breakfast table, listening to the low sound of the news. In recent times, however, something has changed. The smell of coffee seemed to no longer awaken pleasant memories. The hands, previously firm when holding the cup, now trembled slightly, betraying an internal cold that was difficult to explain. Carlos realized that that invisible anxiety had started to mix with the simple act of getting up and looking at the clock. Anxiety, for those over 60, is like that fine rain that you can't see, but gradually soaks in. It doesn't just cause concern, it affects the body and routine, making the chest tighten and breathing stop at the most unexpected moments. Have you ever felt your heart pounding for no reason, just because an insistent thought won't let go? This is not rare. According to recent research, more than 60% of people in this age group report clear physical symptoms: insomnia, apathy, headaches that don't seem to go away even with the old recipes in the cupboard. It's not just sadness, it's different from that melancholy that comes and goes with a cornmeal cake. It's a constant state of alert, as if the mind is expecting bad news at any moment. This all makes the day lose its shine, reaching the end of the afternoon and not feeling up to watching the old soap opera. Simple details, like the smell of clean clothes or the sound of the house gate, become faded. The body absorbs it without asking for permission. And is there really no easy way out, just because everyone says it's normal to feel nervous after a certain age? Many people believe that it's just an age thing, but it doesn't always have to be that way. How many times have you heard that chocolate is bad for the elderly? See, over the next few minutes, you will realize that not everything is so definitive. And if it is to challenge old fears, let it be with that courage that emerged when the doorbell rang and the family arrived with warm bread. Have you thought about that? It is not always possible to see the rain falling, but smelling the wet earth is a sign of change. After all, the next secret could be in the next cup on the table. On this path, it is common to have that doubt. Have you ever heard that story that after 60, you can't change anything? Almost as if after a certain point, the routine was sealed, like handwritten family recipes. But this belief limits more than it protects. In fact, studies show that the brain remains capable of creating new habits throughout life. Imagine the scene. Donna Marta, at 74, found pleasure in learning to use her cell phone to talk to her grandchildren. He changed his routine, overcame distrust, and noticed new flavors in his life, including his taste preferences. Often, small movements are enough to open big doors. But there is another issue that many people don't even understand. Many are surprised to discover that adding new foods to their diet is simpler than it seems. That idea that only traditional foods are good for you no longer holds true. Cocoa, for example, is rich in flavonoids. Just remember, flavonoids are substances that, in addition to giving color to food, help with circulation and relaxation in the body. Similar to when we open the window and feel the fresh air coming in. A spoonful of cocoa in your breakfast porridge can give you that little push to get up without back pain. And unlike what you think, trying a different recipe doesn't require major changes. Sometimes it's just adapting what already exists. Now, contrary to what is generally thought, including a new ingredient doesn't have to be complicated. Take that ritual of stirring your coffee. Just a touch of bitter cocoa is enough to change the experience. Researchers found that by adopting this simple habit, more than 60% of seniors reported waking up more easily and feeling less tension in their shoulders. This is easy to observe. You know that feeling of stretching and realizing that your body responds better without slowing down. Now tell me, have you ever tried changing a small habit, like swapping French bread for another flavor in your coffee? Share your experience in the comments. It will be great to exchange ideas. And take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel and leave a like, because every week there is something new created with care for this moment in life. Take a deep breath. Imagine a coffee in the morning on a cold day, but with a different aroma. It's the routine taking on a new flavor. It may seem like a detail, but the effect on your daily life is like a change of season announced by a good smell in the kitchen. Get ready, because in the next section, we will explore recipes and small solutions to get you started right now. During breakfast, for example, a simple choice can change your routine a lot. Swapping the traditional refined sugar for cocoa powder in hot milk. Simply heat 200 milliliters of milk, add a teaspoon of bitter cocoa, and mix until completely dissolved. If you want to sweeten it, opt for a spoonful of light honey. The taste is slightly bitter, but the effect is immediate. A feeling of comfort and lightness in the body, as if each sip prepared the day for less tension. This morning ritual, in addition to helping to reduce nervousness, brings observable benefits. such as more active circulation and a more alert mind when waking up. Have you ever imagined feeling that mood with the morning sun coming through the window? Now, many people have discovered that including 70% chocolate in dessert is a small gesture with quick results. Just one square is enough, preferably after lunch, melting slowly in your mouth. The firmer texture and intense flavor make people slow down, pay attention, and even breathe better. For those over 60, this translates into less anxiety between meals and more peace of mind throughout the afternoon. A practical tip is to store the chocolate in the refrigerator, cut into small pieces so as not to overdo it and create a pleasant little ritual. Contrary to what you might imagine, cocoa powder is also popular when mixed with oatmeal or yogurt for an evening snack. Add half a teaspoon of pure cocoa to 3 tablespoons of oats and 2 tablespoons of natural yogurt. Mix well, add fresh fruit, and that's it. An easy snack, rich in fiber and with a strong flavor. For those who like to test new combinations, you can add a touch of cinnamon. Do you feel the smell rising? Take a deep breath. It seems like the kitchen transforms every time a new ingredient enters the mix. Speaking of which, share in the comments. What was the last delicious thing you tried in your routine? Now, imagine Rosa, who always felt tired after days in a row without good sleep. She decided to try cocoa milk before bed. She felt the heat of the glass between her hands and, that night, sleep came easily. In the morning, he woke up feeling light, feeling the difference in his body and mood. Changing can be hard work at first, but just like learning to dance a new step, the routine can also gain new music. And who said it can't be fun? But the routine can gain even more flavor with a simple solution: adding cocoa to oatmeal for breakfast. In a small pan, place 3 tablespoons of oats, 200 milliliters of milk, half a tablespoon of cocoa powder, and a small spoon of honey. Mix well and stir until it thickens slightly. The aroma of hot cocoa spreads throughout the kitchen, bringing that familiar feeling of warmth that reminds us of mornings at grandparents' house, when any simple dish seemed special just because of the care involved. For a change, you can make a banana and cocoa cream. Mash a banana, add a teaspoon of cocoa and a pinch of cinnamon. Stir until you obtain a homogeneous cream, ideal for a quick snack or before bed. The striking flavor of cocoa contrasts with the sweetness of banana, giving energy and comfort without weighing down. If in the first week Rosa found it strange to exchange bread for porridge, she soon noticed that her hands were no longer so tense in the morning, and that conversations at the table became lighter. In a short time, she began to sleep better, woke up excited enough to return to the cafe at the gate, and even felt the skin on her face was more vibrant, something she hadn't seen in a while. The smile came back easily, especially when I smelled that cocoa smell invading the kitchen on a rainy night. If you have difficulty finding dark chocolate or pure cocoa, a practical tip is to search at local markets or ask a family member to help with the shopping. For those who are afraid of leaving aside a traditional snack, it's worth trying it out on a single day without commitment, as if it were a game of trying new flavors, just like family lunches when a cousin would always show up inventing a new recipe. Small changes, such as including cocoa in your coffee, can bring concrete benefits: more energy to walk, less muscle tension, peaceful night's sleep, and even that good mood that makes the day lighter. And of course, always consult your healthcare professional before changing your diet to ensure the best care. Now I want to know, what self-care ritual do you practice to calm anxiety? Leave your tip or curiosity here in the comments, and take the opportunity to subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video with someone special. The week's challenge is simple. Choose a cocoa ritual that you learned today and do it for 5 days. Next week, there's more practical news to transform your routine. After all, taking care of yourself is like learning a new recipe. Just try it, adjust it, and feel when life gets sweeter.